Welcome! It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting coming to you on Saturday, November 8th at 11:59 p.m. What do you know? I am almost raring to go because I had a nap today. So let me get my devices set up and I will see if anybody's catching me live. And hopefully I'll keep up with the conversation. So, I had this craft fair earlier today, and it started out kind of slow, and I did this particular craft fair last year, and it was slow last year also, but I thought, I'm just going to go anyway. Last year I ended up meeting a woman who we connected right away, and she is now on my team, and she was there also, and she does another direct sales business. She does Tastefully Simple stuff. So she was there today, and it started out kind of slow for both of us. But then in the afternoon, it really picked up. The last half hour or so, I was really busy. And the card that we did last night, it sold. I took it there and I just had it displayed with some of my samples because I take things so people can see what kind of classes I would have to offer. And she put it in a pile of stuff, so it sold. So we're going to make another one. And I have not unpacked all of my things because I was too tired. And then we had to go eat because my guest Stamper, my granddaughter, is here today. So we might make a video tomorrow. She wants to, but I don't know if we're going to have time because I have a class here tomorrow afternoon too. But anyway, so then when we got home, I was just so tired. I took care of the chickens quick, took a nap, and have just been kind of trying to catch up on some things. So I unpacked some of my things, but I don't have all of my little announcements. So I know we've got a virtual class coming up, a Stampin' Up! Class with the Brushed in Beauty or something, something like that. Brushed something. And I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. So whatever it is, I should be getting mine Thursday. I think I ordered the suite. And then on November 12th, we've got a Stampin' Up, excuse me, we've got a Stampin' Up craft along. That I think is at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So I'll be hosting a watch party here. So anybody local to me, let me know if you're coming over so I can plan accordingly. And then, I've got my Thoughtful Thursday coming up. I've got a coffee and a card coming up. I've got my Most Monday. I got a lot of stuff coming up. So busy times. Hello, Bonnie. How are you? You were talking on Vicky's page, right, about your vertigo? Hi, Susan. You're making your first Christmas journal. Fun. Well, I'm glad that what we do here is inspiring and calming. I try to use my calm, soothing voice. I used to always say that to the students when I worked at the college because I proctored a lot of exams, certification exams for our fire program. And students would come in and they'd be all nervous. And, I just kind of start talking them through things. So, maybe it's that calm, soothing voice where I've gotten older and I just don't get too stressed about certain things anymore. I get ultra stressed about other things, but this is my happy place. So, Bonnie, I have been there. And I know Vicky talked about some like exercises she has to do. And that does help, although sometimes they can trigger more vertigo. I've had it horrible, where I can just kind of look up, like if I'm looking at something on a shelf higher than my head, and the whole room starts to spin and you have to kind of hold on. So I know how horrible that can be. So I think that's really all of my announcements. I know there's some people popping on here now. I can see a few of them. And I have to tell you, I'm not sure if MacMan is listening. He did go up to bed already. He was exhausted too. He kept our granddaughter occupied the whole time. He he picked her up partway. We'd already set up for the craft fair, and then he went to pick her up. He had breakfast with her and her mom, I'm pretty sure. And then they came and hung around by me. So he helped me cart all the stuff. So he's my true roadie. So props to him. He did a lot for me today. So Bonnie, you've got bands on your wrists and Dramamine. Does the Dramamine really help? And have you done physical therapy? Because I know when my mom had it really bad, they sent her to physical therapy, and you do these like rotational kind of exercises laying down. And they're not really exercises, they're just movements. They make it worse. Yeah, it does. It does make it worse initially. I experienced that as well. But once things start to settle where they're supposed to be, it actually improved mine. I knock on wood if I had some handy. I haven't had any episodes recently. So anyway, let's kind of get down to business. And hopefully, Bonnie, you'll get some resolution. Susan, how are things going for you over in Australia? And we didn't chat much about like your mom's birthday party. I hope she had a good time. All right, so last night we made a quilt card with some of the leftover pieces from the Traditions of Christmas scrapbooking workshop. So these were some of the leftover pieces from that scrapbook, and I have that away from the table. I'm not going to show everybody that again, but 2 nights ago, I think, right? 2 nights ago we did that workshop. We did 3 2-page spreads, so we did 6 pages. These were the extras, and I'd said the next night, which was last night, we would make something out of the scrap. So we did. We made this cute little like star quilt. Well, since it sold today at the craft fair, luckily I had a picture of it because I did post it on my Facebook page. I think pretty promptly actually. But I'm going to make another one that's a little bit different. It's not going to be the same. And hopefully I won't need any other supplies because not all of my stuff is unpacked and I don't know what box contains what stuff. So you've got the vestibular migraines. Okay, yeah, I can understand where the exercises would not probably help resolve that. Even over time, it takes a long time. Did you know dogs get that too? My dad's pug had vestibular I don't know if it was called vestibular dog disease or something like that, but she had vertigo. She was walking with her head all cocked for over a year. So, oh, well, I hope your card turned out all right. But I'm sorry that you had that episode because I know that is not fun. So I cut a lot of these pieces ahead of time, and I thought we would do something a little different. Now, you might be able to tell these are a little smaller than the ones from yesterday. Yesterday's squares I did, they were 1.25 inches square. And, well, maybe you can work on it now while we're working on this one, Bonnie. So the ones yesterday were 1.25 inches square, and then you just cut them diagonally. So there's really not measuring per se. You just put it in your trimmer and measure, line it up and cut. So I did a bunch of these different colors, and we're just going to see how it works out. But I did take a couple of pieces of our basic white, and I put some adhesive sheets on here. And what I thought I would do is a landscape style card. Oh, you can't sit up? That's, sorry about that. I know it's not fun. I hope that resolves quickly for you. So anyway, we have, I put adhesive sheets on here because I thought what we would do is put the points on the adhesive sheets and then build our quilt that way. And it might be a little bit easier. So we'll see if that works. Because last night we were, you know, laying stuff out and I would touch it and it would move. So we'll see how this works, and I'll see how big I want these pieces to be. But you can't see it a whole lot, but in this particular designer series paper, there is pool party in there. So that's why I have this piece of pool party out here. There's also, it looks like it could be mossy meadow, it could be garden green, or it could just be the darker shade of old olive. So I have some old olive here. This is actually mossy meadow, another piece from the Thoughtful Designs specialty designer paper. So I don't know if we'll end up using that or not. So I'm just going to move these kind of into little piles here because I want to do that pool party one first and use those floral pieces, and then we'll see how the rest of it goes. So Bonnie, you were in bed for 16 days last time. I do not envy you. Susan, I'm reading your note there about time with your mom. That's awesome. Yeah, my granddaughter and I might go get our hair cut tomorrow. We'll see. We talked about it, but that was kind of before I remembered that I have a class tomorrow. So we'll have to get up early and just see. So sorry it's taken me so long, but I needed these on a piece of paper that I wouldn't lose them. Hi, Yuda. We're going to do a kind of a mini version of last night's card because the one we made last night I sold. Hello, Bonnie. So let me trim this down. So I'm going to do it landscape. And we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, I'm using my my trimmer that I don't use a whole lot. Hello, Vicky. I'm using my trimmer that needs a new blade. My other trimmer that I use most of the time when I'm doing my videos is still packed in a box somewhere. Who knows? Oh, and so are some of my tools. All right. I do not know where my extra bone folders are because that's packed. So we're just gonna fingernail this one. All right. Oh, Juju, welcome. Did I say hi to you? I don't remember. Oh, Susan, no grandchildren, but 3 dogs. Bonnie, I did all right at the craft fair. It was a slow start, but the afternoon picked up, and then the last half hour to 45 minutes was pretty good. So I haven't gone through everything, but I came home with less things that I took. So that's a good thing. So here's my base, and I'm going to do this one landscaped and see how that goes. So what I want to do here is kind of, remember I've got this adhesive sheet piece, but I don't know how big we need it. So let's just lay out a few of these little stars and see how they work. They might still be too big, huh? They're going to overlap even that way. So maybe we'll just do 2. Or maybe we'll overlap them when we're done. Who knows? Let's just start with 2 for now. And lay these out. And we'll use the green. Is that right? No, it needs to go there. And then I thought, oh, I have blue. It's like I thought I had a blue also. All right, so I guess if we did probably like an 1.5 square would work. I'm going to do 1.25 inches because that way I'll get 2 out of this particular piece. Susan, you're preparing for a craft fair in 2 weeks at your community center. Not enough hours to make all your requests. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. So I put the adhesive sheet on my basic white cardstock. I just lifted off that release paper. So I'm just going to lay this on here to work. Maybe I'll put it on my glass mat if I can get it to not stick to me. There we go. So let's just start putting these on here. I was just thinking it would be maybe a little bit easier to get them to line up. We'll see. All right, so now I need the red ones. Yes, it's definitely good to have things in demand, right? So the one thing with the adhesive sheets that for me is a drawback over glue, the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, is that you really don't have any wiggle room. So when it's down, it's down. I think we'll go this way, right? Oh, I laid these out a little bit different. That's all right. I guess we'll go this way. And then I'll lay this one out the same when we do that one, maybe. Or maybe make it different. Who knows? So I tried to save a little bit of time by having these things trimmed up ahead of time. So I think that worked out pretty well. So there's our pretty little pinwheel there. So let's make another one. I had several really good conversations with people today, and a couple of people for sure that are interested in my classes or my studio time. So that's a good thing because, you know, a lot of times with these craft fairs, you're not going to be paying any bills with the money that you earn because it's just not that lucrative. But the contacts are important. So I'm just loosely using my grid lines to kind of help me get this a little straight, maybe, with any luck. You know, it's funny because last year at this particular craft fair, I sold several kits. And then I did a different craft fair in the spring. And that one I didn't sell any kits. But people really liked my cards. This year I sold probably equal amounts of all, but I sold a lot of my stamps, my retired, discontinued stamp sets and bundles. But I did what I'm calling a bag sale, where I have bags of 2 different sizes, and I have a price on the bag. And because this is all old stuff, it's not doing me any good. I don't use my old merchandise for classes because people can't buy it if they really like what they're making. They can't buy it. So I have a small bag, which is kind of a medium size bag, maybe about that big and 4 or 5 inches deep, and then tall. And whatever they can fit in there without going over the top, they can have for a set price. And then I have a larger bag that will fit, that's twice the price, and it'll fit more than twice the amount of stuff in it if they want to take that much. And again, whatever they can fill in there, whatever they can fit in there without going over, they get to take. And I had several people do that today. So that's just a good way for me to clean out some of my old stuff. So you just have to decide what you're willing to let your old stamps go for. And that's a good idea, Bonnie. And one of the gals that's on my team, she has a customer base right now that they don't want to buy stuff. They just want to make the stuff. So she'll use retired stuff to do the classes. Well, that fits pretty good like that. What do you think? And then this is going to go on here, of course. But I thought we would do this joy again so that we wouldn't have to debate what kind of sentiment to put on. It kind of hangs over the edge a little bit. There. That'll be close enough. But I think we'll run this through the embossing folder again because that was a fun idea. Now I could actually probably trim this layer a little narrower. What do you think? Or should I just leave it kind of a normal layer size? And I think I want to do the joy in cherry cobbler. It was a very good way to clean things out. Now I probably got rid of maybe about 15% of what I took as far as stamps or bundles. But I'm happy with that because it opens up some of my space for other things. So we're going to do that. And I don't know if we should do maybe a couple of sprigs of something too, because we didn't use these dies yesterday. We'll see. All right. So I think I want to do the joy in the dark again. What do you think? Or red. The cherry cobbler, I think is what I just said. I lost track of what I was going to do. So let's do the cherry cobbler. That'll work. And then maybe Secret C for the behind layer. Let me get a piece of that. Sorry for the delay. All right, so let's trim this little piece. All right, for that. Yeah, I definitely want to have a good variety of things for people to choose from. So I also do a drawing for an old paper pumpkin kit so that they can see what's in the paper pumpkin. I tell them about the subscription options, but I also show them the kits that, it's everything is in there that they need. So I don't know if that's going to quite fit. That's going to be a tight squeeze. But you just never know what people are going to be interested in. So I would rather have a good supply of stuff than to have people walk away from me, you know. And I guess I need some old olive. Yeah, I think I need old olive. And then I have an event in March that my upline has invited me to assist her with. This will be my third time helping her, I think, with it. And she lets me bring my retired stuff and sell it there as well. So I have a couple of opportunities a year to kind of clean out stuff. And I offer the bag sale to my customers here when they come, but not all the time. It's new. And I don't want them to think that, well, let's just wait. Lori will do her bag sale and then we'll get everything really cheap. I don't want them to rely on that. Craft markets or feats. Okay. Yeah, this was, they called it a Craftin vendor fair. So there were other vendors that didn't make crafty things. Like the one gal that's on my team also does Tastefully Simple. So she was there with her Tastefully Simple booth. And there was a chiropractic office there. There was somebody selling crystals. So you have a variety of things. All right. Hello, Tanya. I do keep retired stuff that I really like. So I have my, I'll call it overstock. Fates, like 8. Okay. I've never heard that word. I probably won't remember it either, but it's nice to learn new things every day. So, Bonnie, I do keep some things that I really like. In fact, I have a lot of things that I have hung on to because it's like, you know, maybe I didn't use it yet. I got it and I didn't use it. And I'm much better at using my things now that I'm doing videos every day. There we go. I'm much better at using my things now that I do videos every day, but I wasn't always that way. So I have some things that are brand new. And if I bought them, I really liked them. And sometimes I liked them so much I accidentally bought 2 of them. So that happens. But it's convenient when you're doing a class too. But I don't get rid of, like when stuff that's current right now, when it retires, I will wait. So I don't start cleaning my stuff out right after it retires either. And I know some demonstrators do, they get rid of their stuff right away. I still have some sentimental attachment to some of my things. And I usually sell mine for a reduced price. I know some demonstrators sell them basically at full price because they have value, and they will basically give it away for free because they do a buy one get one. So they'll and my upline just had one of these yesterday or the day before, a virtual one, where she'll offer her retired item. She will put a price on it, and the requirement is that you buy something new from her online store, and then you get the old item and the new item for that one price. So it's you buy one, you get one free, basically. And I'm not quite ready to do that with my supply yet, because I'm still at the point where, you know, when I sell these things, I reinvest it. into my Stampin' Up! Stuff. So, and then I thought I saw another, oh, what's Tastefully Simple? So, Tastefully Simple is, it's supposed to be clean eating items. It's a company that uses, they're like demonstrators, but they're not, I think they're called ambassadors maybe, but they do direct sales. So there are bread mixes and dip mixes and seasonings and that sort of thing. And you purchase the stuff instead of going to the grocery store. And it's supposed to be better for you. It's supposed to be, you know, sourced better so that you don't have all the extra stuff. But I have looked at some of these things, like there was an almond bread, and the almond bread was really good, and it's not inexpensive. All right, it is not cheap price wise. But I looked at the box and there was bioengineered ingredients in it, and I thought I'm trying to avoid some of those, you know, bioengineered, genetically modified stuff. I'm just trying to stay away from it if I can. So, oh, and I need to do these with the green. Let's see if I can get more out of this scrap. So that's that. But it's good stuff. They have this jalapeno jam that I really like. It's sweet, but it's got jalapenos in it, so it's also spicy. And you put it on crackers, or you put it with like topping to a cream cheese ball sort of thing, so you can dip crackers in it or spread it on crackers with, you know, the cheese. The cream cheese kind of mitigates some of the spice in it, but it's so sweet, you don't really need to mitigate it because it's not that spicy. But I like hot stuff, spicy food. And I don't know what Tastefully Simple's market is. You know, if they're nationwide in the US, if they're just in the Midwest. I have no idea. All right, let's just start with those things and we'll see how this all looks. So we'll bring this back in here. So Bonnie, you're a hoarder. I was for many years. I really just started getting rid of my stuff. Well, I guess it's been a couple of years that I've been getting rid of stuff since the first time I did this this vendor fair or whatever with my upline. I started getting rid of some of my things. It's like, you know, I'm not going to use them. I bought it for, you know, one stamp. I've used the one stamp. I can't use it in a class because nobody can buy it anymore. So what's the point? So do we need like a circle or something? Or maybe I should do white behind this one because it might need to be brighter. But I'm going to run it through the embossing folder like we did yesterday. Oh, you're not a hoarder. You're a keeper of pretty things. There you go. Silly me. I read that wrong. And if we still need them, we still need them. Whoops. I just spilled my little slotted organizer. Well, why are you the worst demo, Susan? If your people like it, I'm never going to get rich as a demonstrator either, you know. For one, I started too late in life. You know, I've only been doing this for 8 years. And, you know, the big demos, they've been doing it for, you know, 20 plus years. And that's just, it's not me. I'm never going to be $1 million achiever. I get it. And I'm all right with that. because that takes a lot more work than I think I have the energy for. But it's a nice little side hustle, right? And there are some groups that I do my retired stuff with, like the Senior Living Center, the group that I do, my One Thoughtful Thursday that I do off-site, where I go to their location. I'll use retired things with them because they are not going to do purchasing. They are all basically low income, so they're not going to buy stuff. So they don't care what I use, just so long as it's cute. And basically, Stampin' Up! Just encourages us not to use retired things, because then if a customer sees it and they want to get it, they can't buy it anymore. But you know your customer base better than anybody else, right? And there are times where, I'll have something out that's designed and I'll tell my people, this is retired, so unfortunately you can't get this anymore, but you can make extras, and they're happy with that. And like my team members, if they're on my team and they're doing a class and they don't have a stamp set and they need it, I will let them borrow mine. Not a big deal. That just allows them to get something else instead, Come on. Let's see, one more time. There we go. I just needed to throw it a little harder. Juju gets all your stuff when you die. How close do you two live to each other? Like within minutes of each other? Yeah, and Bonnie's Corner Bonnie. Yeah, I've got kind of the same thing. You don't throw our stuff away. You find some other stamper. Oh, Missouri to Mississippi. So it's a little bit of a hike. Okay. Yeah, you don't throw our stuff away. You find my upline or somebody on my team and let them come clean things out, because they'll know what to do with it. They will know. Yeah, your boys know to call Bon Bon. So long as they know the plan. That's important. I don't know. What are we thinking of this? Joy last night worked so well, and Joy tonight is not hitting me. Maybe I just need a better color. What are you thinking, ladies? So I'm just wondering if I put the Joy on a tag, because these are smaller today than the big one yesterday. Gold. That's not a bad idea, because one of these does have gold in it. I don't think it's one of these. Let me get some gold. These have gold in them. Let me get some gold. So we also have this platinum, but that I think is going to be too close to the back one. And then we've got the brass. And I have to get another package for gold. I think I used a lot of my gold. And that's just the brown. Oh, here we go. All right. This package has seen better days. Not a whole lot left either. We use this for the Fall for 12 stuff quite a bit. All right. On a tag or metallic on top. Yeah. Let's try the gold. And I'm going to trim this down too because we might be able to get a couple out of here. No, those weren't my Stampin' Up! Scissors, but they were handy. All right, I am just going to set up this little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on my cart. So that I don't have to keep moving stuff around my table here. All right, so the gold might be just the ticket. And if that doesn't work, we'll do a tag. Oh, did I cut this too small? Seriously? I'm gonna make it fit. I'm gonna make it work. Close enough. So it's funny how last night's came down to the sentiment being our kind of hang up. And tonight is too. Oh, I like that. I like that. So there's with the white. And if we just did a tag, let's see how that looks. See Bonnie's suggestion. Move the pinwheel up and a pinwheel down and then put in the space there not on the pinwheel. All right, so thank you for that I missed. There's not a whole lot of room to move them down. You're talking about on here then? Oh, that does work. And you know what we could also do? There's nothing that says we have to have this whole pinwheel on here. We can have part of it cut off, right? If there's a tip cut off, who's going to care, right? It's still going to look like a quilt. That works. Do we still like the gold? Or do we now want a different color? That was a good suggestion too. See, from my vantage point, that I didn't even think of that. So we like the gold. Here it is in the cherry cobbler. That's a little more muted. And then 3 gems over here. Yeah, that could work. Oops, I want this. Oh, and I forgot we have old olive we could try too. Here's with the blue. I think that looks nice too. I do not think the old olive works. It's not bright enough. I'm here in gold. Okay, that'll work. So let me take this off of here for now. We'll move these things over here because we can use those for something else. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix these so that I'm just taking off that one little tip. It'll be fine. Oh, I have to find glue because that's packed in my things too. All right, class table stuff. Oh, and here's a bone folder too. There's a bone folder too. You put the pinwheels back on the paper, not hanging over. That's just me. The joy will still fit in there. You think so? So if the pinwheels are here, then this one has to come up because that's going to keep the corner on there. It's tight, but it fits. You don't like it with part of the quilt off the page? With that, just like that? So you want it back like this? On or off the page? That might be easier. Because there's a delay with my tablet, so I can't tell if you're commenting on what I just said or what I said before. All right, on. All right, let me get my glue. We'll start with this one. No. Or is that supposed to be on? What's no? Yep. Okay. On. Don't confuse me. I've not had much sleep. All right, so we're going to go, there's a point there, there's a point there. All right. And then let's do this one. And then do we want to keep these so that the colors are symmetrically placed, or do you want me to have it turned so that it's different? What do you think works better? Random. Oh, can't do too much here because I got to keep that down there. What do you think? The same? Same. Okay. Because that looks more balanced to me. It's just making sure. I'm trying to take a cap off the glue that isn't there. Normally I don't put it back in the jar without the cap on, but I figured I was going to use it right away. All right, I just got notification that there's something walking across our trail cam. So it's probably our neighborhood opossum walking past my chicken coop. That looks crooked to me. There. Hopefully that's straight. All right, so do we want to use the same embossing folder that we used yesterday, the one, that eyelet one? Oh, hi, Apple. This is the one we used yesterday. And I think that was the one that looked most like quilting to all of us. Oh, and this one I'm going to have to do on my big machine. I'm running out of space. I'm going to, you were in Dreamland yesterday, Bonnie? You can watch the replay when you have time, if you feel like it. But this is getting you pretty much caught up. I will be right back. with my little embossing machine on my cart, I'm running out of space. All right. That's a lot of pattern on there. Woo! Maybe I should not have embossed this one. It'll be all right. Did anybody get snow? I have a dusting of snow on our deck right now. Well, about an hour ago, there was a dusting of snow. There might be more. Our granddaughter's really excited. Me, not so much. I used to snowmobile, but I'm really not much of a winter sport person. I woke up and Juju was saying, if the creek don't rise and Lord's willing, and I went right back to sleep. Okay. All right. That looks pretty good, I think. And my edges got a little separated on that segment of the quilting piece, unfortunately. But whoever gets this, I don't think is going to mind. You get 70s all week. You post some really pretty pictures, Bonnie. I think that still works there, even though it's on the pinwheel, because I can't move it up a whole lot. Well, partially because I just put glue on here and it's stuck. All right. Now, I think I need some kind of little border around here, like maybe white. Let's just see. It just looks like it needs some kind of pop. Okay, I have white somewhere. I took my white cardstock with me. I'm going to have to open another package. Good thing I got a little store here. I try never to get down to a single pack of cardstock. So I'll have an open one, I'll have a full one, and when I have to go into my reserve full one, I usually order another one because I don't like running out. But then too, it's funny because sometimes my upline will, she'll send me a message, Lori, do you have this color? I'm like, of course I do. And it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while it's kind of funny. All right, so I need a layer. All right, so, what I hear, I like this cover. Oh, those are views from work. All right. You've kind of put that on there, and then with the view, I'm thinking, is your work like you're retired and this is like out of your house or something? Yeah, we've had 30s by us, Bonnie L. And I'm in Wisconsin. We've had 30s for quite some time overnight. Oh, so you get a lot of different views. Our daughter does that. She just started and she is absolutely loving it. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I think that made a big difference. What do you think with the white on there? I think it makes a big difference. And I actually had these sprigs because I was going to do it I was going to do it with the words, but with the gold, I don't think we need it. I think the gold stands alone really well. Now, I also think I need to find some kind of gold, some gold pieces. So what I'm going to do with this piece of white, rather than waste this whole piece, I am going to cut out 2 labels from the inside, just because we can. Why waste all of that when I can use it? I'll be right back. I don't often gut my white layers, but because I like this tag, I'm sure I'm going to use it, so that's why I thought I would do it this time. So, you've got vacation homes. I know, right? Yeah, how can you afford a regular house and then a vacation house that's like a mansion? I'm just common folk. Oh, yeah, I do need to put the lid on. But I put my glue in a jar, and as long as it's not, this is a yogurt thing, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't usually leak unless it's like almost empty, and then it gets like that pressure buildup, and you get those big burps of glue. But you saw my lid sitting over there, so thank you for watching out for me. I'm going to put it on now, though, so I don't forget and lose track of it. I usually do that right away. Let's make sure I'm opening the right way, because that would be my luck to put this all together and have it backwards. Wouldn't that be something? No, I was just playing around. Let's make sure it goes right. So this, because I'm only going to have a 1/16 of an inch around here, I want to be kind of careful lining it up. And with the liquid glue, obviously I've got a little bit of wiggle room. As long as I don't press it down, we're good. Shift it ever so slightly. I think that's close enough. You got your Christmas tree up already? Oh, no, Apple, I don't do, I don't put my Christmas stuff up until after Thanksgiving. And then I don't take it down until New Year's. Sometimes a little longer, it depends. I know one year my mother kept our Christmas stuff up. I was a kid. My mother kept our Christmas stuff up until February because she was afraid she was not going to make the next Christmas and she wanted to enjoy it all. And I thought, well, that's kind of sad. So you've got a glue plus. You never put the lid on your glue. It never closes or anything because in the stand, there's a thing that plugs a hole. Yeah, that's nice. I see a lot of people that use those. Does it like poke a hole in the back of the glue bottle so that it creates that controlled pressure, or how does that even work? Is it like a caulking gun? I think that's pretty good. That works. All right, the gold was a good idea. I think, was that Bonnie? All right, let's take a look at some of my gems. I might have to find, ooh. These are the flower accents. I think these are still available. Let me just take a look here. And it looks like my picture is elongated again. YouTube was giving me issues trying to come online again. Oh, that's funny, Yuda. Your daughter-in-law's missed Christmas decorations early everywhere. Yeah, yeah. To each his own, you know. If you like Christmas that much, it's just, my husband kind of gets tired of it. Like when they're doing Christmas music. Yeah, these are still available. So I think these will work. What do you think? You think they're too flashy? Nah. So it looks like a glue gun, right? But in the hole, there's like a sponge where the nozzle that glues upside down in the press. But how does the press get inside the glue bottle to push the glue out? It doesn't just squeeze the bottle, does it? I might have to like do some research. Oh, I don't want that end. I want the putty end. This is one where one of my gals from the senior center pushed this really off the tip. So I gotta squeeze some more in here. Okay, cool. I may have to look into one of those one of these days. All right, so I know we were talking about the gems here in the void spot. I just worry about having 3 gems all in a row here. How do you think I should put those out there? Staggered, like I would normally do, just staggered? Because I would normally probably do like, normally I would do a big one and then smaller ones, but I think I'm going to do all smaller here because I really don't want to take away from the joy of the card. I'll maybe do like here and here. And then maybe we need 5 on this card. And I think these go so good with the little snowflakes that are in the ends of the letters. I'm on a roll. I just think those need that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going with that. So that glue, or that trigger thing, it's a game changer. And you can put your glue in, and there's 2 tips, huh? Okay. And what is yours called? Did you tell me that in the comments? All right, so Susan, your husband did all the decorating already on November 1st. Do you put lights outside? Oh, lucky you that he loves to cook. So my husband is kind of similar. He worked 40 years in his career. A stressful job, and he is a little older than your husband. I wish his hobby was cooking because he's Italian, but his hobby more is eating whatever I cook and not complaining about any of it, because I'm sure I'm not as good a cook as his mother was. But it's all good. All right, that would be great, Bonnie. Send me a picture of the one that you've got with a name on it. That would be helpful. Lights outside, the works. We put one of those white nativity sets in our front yard that's just white. They're like 3 feet tall with all the different pieces. We put that in our front yard. We don't really put any other lights except a spotlight on that. And the spotlight shines it up on our house, which is kind of cool. So the shadow of the nativity is illuminated onto the house, which is pretty cool. And then for many years, I've just done a small tree. And part of that was because we had our granddaughter's toys and stuff all over the living room. Like every corner has her toys and books and games and all this stuff in there. So we're starting to get rid of some of the things of hers that she doesn't use anymore because she's gotten older. So one of these years I might get another big tree because I really like a big tree. So, all right. And a sweet petunia also, who makes the Misty? So Susan, yeah, you guys have hot Christmas there. Oh, a bouncing kangaroo. That would be awesome. I love that. I'll let the kids think you're nuts. Who cares? It's all about what makes you feel happy. I love the idea of the bouncing kangaroo. That is wonderful. You should try to send me a picture of that too. I'd love it. You know, like a video would be cool to see. That's awesome. All right. I'm going to keep these gems out because I really like that gold joy. I'm going to keep these handy. And I'm going to put these dies away so that I don't lose them. And then I think I am going to call it a night. I know we only did one. And if you're disappointed, I apologize. We'll do more another time. But that is not how these went on here. I really like this little die set. I think that was there, but joy doesn't fit there. Oh, who knows? I can always put more tape on here. Yeah, and if it's the same company, I won't buy it from that company. I won't buy the glue thing from that company. Just because it's a matter of principle for me, because our Stamparatus was so incredible and different from that other product. But Stampin' Up! Can't sell it now because they took issue with it. But anyway, we'll just leave it there. So anyway, I will look into that. So Bonnie, if you're sending me a picture of that, still, that would be great. I would love to look into it. Because sometimes I either have arthritis in this part of my thumb or de Quervain syndrome, which is kind of similar but different. I've not been diagnosed and I've not had x-rays, although I did work with a doctor when I worked at the VA hospital, and he suggested de Quervain's. So I don't know. So one of those little trigger things might be in my future to make my life easier. This is such an easy card. I think I will probably do something very similar to this with my seniors. And I'll be with them on Thursday. And this would be a pretty easy card to prep too, you know, because these are just your squares. You cut them in triangles. And the challenge that I think my gals will have is making sure that all of the long ends are on the same way. So it'd be a matter of teaching them, line up all your triangles so they look like little, like Chinese hats or something. Pyramids, maybe would be a better way to say it. And then make them build it around that way. Okay. Well, that's good to know, Bonnie. And thank you for sharing that. I know there's a couple other demonstrators, like Lisa Curcio uses some kind of triggered glue gun too, but I don't watch her videos enough to hear, you know, they come up on my thing and I see that she's got them out there because she's been making videos a long time. But I don't know what product she uses. I've just seen them in there. All right, let's see here. All right, so it is the same company. All right, well, I'll try to keep an open mind, Bonnie. We'll see. But sometimes my stubbornness takes over. So we'll see. I'll take a look at it. Oh, does she? Okay. So Juju, you've got one of those trigger ones too? I guess I don't remember seeing them on yours. But a lot of times I'm just listening to yours. But not high speed. So I listen to how you explain things. All right. Well, thank you everybody for hopping on and joining me. This was a fun way to recreate last night's card in a different fashion. I'm going to have to, luckily I have a picture, but I really liked that one. So I'm going to have to remake that one. And that might be the one that I make for my seniors because the squares are bigger and they only have to make one of them. So, but I love this. And then the nice little white layer on the inside will look really pretty in here. So thank you all for collaborating with me. I appreciate it. Let me do my little parting message on here before I sign off. I'm just reading some of these final comments before I sign off. All right. So happy crafting, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, we'll blame Bonnie. It's Bonnie's turn, right, Juju? Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. And we'll catch you in, I don't know, 23 hours or so. Good night.